Hi.
Sorry. Oops.
Here we are after a week off. I hope you all had a memorable Memorial Day, and we are back into the swing of things here. So we'll be going live every Monday for the next few weeks. I don't have any holiday planned, and my trip in June to Chicago for the trade show isn't until Tuesday of that week. So we will be able to continue right through the whole month of June with Lunch with Linda. So welcome. If you're joining us on Facebook or on YouTube Live, both places will record it automatically and you'll be able to watch it anytime you want to. I'm Linda Daniels and this is Northampton Wolves, and this is our Lunch with Linda talk. Hi, Eileen. So between Kate and I hope that we can keep up with your comments and questions and take care of them. So today we have a lot of different things to talk about, and I have my list. Hi, Amanda. So hopefully we'll get through everything. Hey, Bonnie. Hi, Bess. Bonnie, I hope you're all settled down in there. It looked like you were having fun in your new swimming pool anyway. I'm envious of that. So first of all, you guys know that I love these baskets. We have a ton of them because Usman was here, and I've talked about them before. But on Saturday, or one day last week, I had a customer come in twice. She came in and bought 2 baskets, and then a couple of hours later, she came back again and bought another one. And I was curious about why. When she said that she had a housewarming party to go to and realized that a basket would make a great housewarming gift. She was getting gift certificates and some kitchen hand towels to put in them. And I was like, oh my God, I have only thought of these as either purses or for knitting projects, but what a fantastic gift idea. And of course, then my mind just started running away with ideas. What a perfect little baby shower gift with diapers, cream, whatever kind of little things that you need nowadays for babies. It's been so long, I don't even know if I would be able to get it right. Or a graduation gift, and stick some of those gift certificates in there. And then I was even thinking, holy cow, what a great shower gift, and plan it around a movie night with popcorn and a bottle of wine, or all the other things that you need when you're going to sit home and watch a movie.
Or like a care package.
A care package, a graduation care package, a going off to college kind of care package, and even a little beach supply. Who doesn't love brand new towels? I don't care how many towels you have. Towels are such a great gift. Kitchen towels, you can go on and on and on. A picnic, a little picnic supply. So I couldn't believe how much I had not thought about other ways to use these little guys. So I thought I had to share that with you. Just that one customer saying to me that she was going to do it as a housewarming with several little gift certificates, not even big ones, like just $10 gift certificates to different places in the neighborhood, in your new neighborhood. Perfect little idea. So hi to all of you guys that are joining us both on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm glad to see you all, that you are able to. We hear all the time from people who come into the shop and do tell me how much they enjoy the talks, and not all of them are able to join us right at 12:30, but they do watch later on in the day or when they have a chance. So I hope that you guys know how much I appreciate that. We had Bobolink yarn here, as you know. We had a great turnout for that night, and I wanted to show you some of her new colors of the sock yarn because they are beautiful. Really, really pretty. She's doing such an incredible job with some of her new colors. This is her sock yarn. It's called Settlement Sock, and it is enough yards. It's 410 yards to make a pair of socks or a small shawl. And some of her colors this time were so spring-like, I could not resist getting even more. Now, we don't have them listed on the website in the different colors. If you want to see them, you really do need to come into the shop to pick them, because there's only one or maybe two of a colorway. So we didn't think that we could really use up all that space on the website for the individual photographs. But we're happy to handle it with a phone call if you want us to describe it, or send you an actual photograph of them. This is a really nice, again, bobolink yarn from Vermont. It is a typical sock yarn in that it's 75% wool and 25% nylon, so it has that good staple in it that keeps it strong. And you want to knit it on a small needle so that it's a nice tight weave. And here's the last one, really bright and pretty. So I wanted to show you what the result of the talk that she gave here in the shop was, that Linda bought more yarn too. And I just wanted to share that stuff with you. So we've got them until they last. Like I said, there's only one, maybe two skeins that are similar in color. But we're going to continue to carry the bobolink yarn in different weights. That's her settlement sock. We have some of her fingering weight, and we have some of the worsted weight in the hat kits as well. And then right behind me, this way, finally get it, this way. This is a pattern called Flying South. And I think I talked about it before. It was, I used Yakima, a strand of Yakima, and a strand of the trendsetter Poet Mohair. Now this Poet Mohair is a gradient mohair, but it's very, very subtle and very, very long colorways. So when you knit with it, you can even see that in the sweater behind me. The color does not change. See that? It's lighter, that yellow at the top, and then gradually fading down to the green. So it does not go really, really fast. It's a very, very slow moving gradient through the entire piece. So that's the kind of gradient that is nice for a sweater. Rather than a real stripe, you get this slow moving fade almost through the colors. So we've put together several other colorways with the periwinkle sheep, that purple and red. So you would use a strand of the Poet Mohair with a strand of the, in this case, cranberry-like periwinkle sheep. This pattern is an old pattern. It is on Ravelry. It is free. Again, it's called Flying South. And in the pattern, it was originally done for a bulky weight wool. So it has a very different, there we go, very different look in the pictures on the pattern, because they were done with just a regular bulky weight wool. But you can take those bulky weight patterns and do them now with the mohair and a fingering weight yarn and really create something special and new. And then I just also wanted to point out the Wink sweater. We're down to the ends of the colors. So we've got enough in just about every color to maybe do one, to maybe sell it one or two more times. So if you were thinking about that, that's one of the free monthly patterns on the website. It's called Wink at Me. And the colors are on the website as well. This is your last chance for that, because that's probably going to be gone by the end of the month with the way that it's been selling. We have really been selling a lot of it. So I wanted to point both of those things out to you so that you have a chance to get it while you're still thinking about knitting for summer. So the Hill Institute, which is an adult education school up in Florence, has been in existence for a very long time. It's over 100 years old, I think. And it was founded by Mr. Hill, who was the owner of the Florence silk mills. It's called Corticelli Silk Mills up in Florence. And they used to produce all kinds of silk, crochet, and knitting yarn. This is a copy of the book that This is book number 4 that they published in 1918. And it's amazing to me that they have color in the magazine.
Right.
Yeah. And this is their logo
Oh.
from up there. And they still use that, even though the mill isn't. It's kind of like the theme of the Hill Institute. Well, I teach crochet up at the Hill Institute, and we have 2 semesters. We have a fall semester and a spring semester. And a couple of years ago, before COVID, the head of the Hill Institute, the director there, was cleaning out the attic and came across this book and brought it down to me and said, Linda, you might be interested in this. It's basically a pattern book filled with patterns for all of these, back then would have been small silk bags. And the description of them is what really drives me nuts, or I just love the paragraph that describes them. Every well-dressed woman is interested in the present vogue of the drawstring bag. And it talks about having one in every color to go with every costume in your closet. I just love it. So originally these were done with very thin crochet or knitting silk, and a very small needle. And the bags themselves were only big enough. One of the descriptions says that it's an opera glass bag. So it was meant to be very, very tiny, or maybe for a little bit of change, or a handkerchief. Well, I was so intrigued with them that I had some silk-like yarn, not silk from the Corticelli silk mill, but silk-like yarn, and bigger needles. Of course, it was thicker yarn. And so I made 2 of the bags. This is one of the patterns that's in the book, and they are drawstring. So I made drawstrings with little tassels on them. And this is basically just big enough. It's actually a great knitting ball bag. You could put your ball in here, tie it onto your waistband, and walk when you knit or crochet. So this was one of the designs. And I don't know if you can tell, but the material is a little bit shiny. And one of them is multicolored and one of them is a solid color. And then I did the pattern that I just showed you, this bag, also in a much heavier silk yarn that I had. And that turned into this.
So cute.
Drawstring. I didn't put the tassels on yet for this. And then the other thing that they recommend is putting it wouldn't have been plastic, but I can't remember quite what the name of it is, but a disc in the bottom of the bag, and they covered it with crochet so that it would make the bottom flat and stand upable. And I was like, oh my God, who doesn't have those big plastic covers for like that takeout, but bigger than that. Sherbet, that sherbet comes in, that size would be perfect for that. You could trim away the bump part and just have the flat plastic and then cover it with crochet and do that. So the fun thing is that the Hill Institute has asked me to teach this as a one-day workshop up there in the fall. So we have set the date for October 21st. It's going to be it's a Friday, an all-day class at the Hill Institute. I think Chris said that it'll cost $40, and I'll be buying yarn and putting together kits. And you will get a copy, not an original, but you will get a copy of these patterns, and we'll go through it. Because of course the language and the abbreviations are a little bit different, and they're a little bit freer with their description of what it is you're supposed to do. And by that I mean they assume more knowledge than most people might have about crochet. But I'm looking forward to that, and I'm going to spend some time this summer doing a bunch more of those patterns, so you'll be able to choose which one you have. So that's got you caught up, except for our brand new yarn. So I ordered this yarn way back at the end of winter and basically had forgotten about it. And when we got it in the other day and opened it up, I had to scoop Kate up off the ground because she practically fainted from joy. This stuff is called Cashseta. It is the most amazingly soft yarn that I have ever felt. I have to admit it. And it is made out of 40% modal, 30% poly, 15% cashmere, and 15% silk. So what the heck is modal? Modal is one of those things like tencel. Its classification is as a man-made natural fiber. It's actually made mostly from birch trees. Beech trees, sorry. Beech trees. And what that process involves is a real breaking down of the tree. I'm trying to think of the term, the stringy viscose, the viscose in the tree. They break it down and then they put it through an extrusion machine. I just love that word, extrusion, that turns it into a fiber. So imagine this great big tub of liquidy kind of stuff that is then, the liquid is broken down. The liquid is then squeezed out as they spin out this very thin fiber. They combine the modal with the poly for strength so that it softens it and it makes it even stronger. Then they take the cashmere and the silk and they blend those two fibers together, and the construction of this yarn is one of the things that makes it really soft that I wanted to show you. Think about how they make sausages. They make this casing, and the casing is on the end of a machine, and the meat is forced into the casing and then cut off. So forced in and casing. And that's what actually happens with this particular yarn. You won't really be able to see it that well, but the outside of this yarn is actually a knit net. And I can grab one tiny little strand and pull apart the netting. It's like old-fashioned pantyhose used to be, where they were all knit fabric. There we go.
Oh my gosh, you just unraveled.
You can unravel the outside part. So they make this little knit tube, and then they stuff it with the cashmere and silk blend right in there. That is so incredibly soft. And when you pull it apart, you can really see the strands of the fiber. So blowing, they actually say that it's blown into this netted tube. With all of those materials combined in there, I'm not kidding, this is incredibly soft.
I want to wear it like as underwear.
You can wear it against your skin. There's absolutely no wool in this. Like I said, it's the modal, poly, cashmere, and silk. It creates a very round yarn. It's really round. And why does that matter? It's not that it's better, it's just different. That roundness makes it very, it conforms very easily to your knitting needle. So it's really smooth on the needle, really smooth to knit. Shaping it is a breeze. When you wrap the yarn around and pull it through, yes, Bess, they did. I'm dying to visit the actual factory and see it made, but it is a special machine. But when you knit with this, that smoothness and that knit tube on the outside makes it nearly impossible to split this yarn. We've talked about splitting yarns before. You almost cannot split this yarn. Really round, really smooth, and this is where I joined it. That's why there's a hole there. I don't want anybody saying, oh, you have a hole in your sweater. It's because there's a join there. So I've started knitting this model. This is Wave of Change by Baron Handmade, or Bayron. And the fabric that's created is super squishy. It is so bouncy and has such great stitch definition. And you can see that in these simple lines right here. Look at the depth and the height
Yeah.
that one row creates. You don't always get that kind of depth with other kinds of yarns. Yes, I can, Marie. It's called Cashseta. This Linea Pura is actually a brand name. The actual name of the yarn is that Cashseta. So they're named it for cash and silk. Yes, cashmere and silk is what that means. I'm going to show you all the colors that it comes in a minute when I'm done talking about how great it is. So this was on a size 10 needle. It can handle up to an 11 without any problem. I wouldn't knit it any tighter than on a size 10 because you're going to condense that strand of yarn even more. And you don't want to make it tighter than it needs to be. The name of the sweater pattern is Wave of Change. What did I do with it? I don't have it.
Yeah.
I put it in the bag. But it is available on Ravelry. It is a paid pattern, and it is Bayron is the designer's last name. Denise Bayron is the designer of it. I also have the sweater in here done in a gray, in a regular bulky weight wool, and it's attracted a lot of attention, which is sort of why I decided to make it in this yarn as well. So like I said, there is no wool in it, so it's going to be a great yarn to use for all of those people who have a wool sensitivity or who think they are allergic to wool, because the softness of it and the non-wool component of it is going to make it one that everybody can wear. And the softness of it is going to make it appropriate for babies and children. It is still a hand wash. It's not a super wash, but I'm pretty sure you could put it in a gentle cycle in cold or cool, maybe even warm water, and then lay it flat to dry. It would be in the dryer that I would avoid. So it's big needles, so it goes pretty quickly. It will not take very long for you to knit it up. It gives you that very clean, precise look. It is not fuzzy at all. There is absolutely no bloom to this because of that knit tube. It's containing everything. So it's different than when you hear me talk about a chainette yarn. It's a completely different. It's not a chainette. It is an actual knit tube with stuff blown into it. So I want to show you the colors that we have. Now there are a lot more colors that this comes in, but I ended up getting a very spring summer palette this time, and when I see the Trendsetter at the show in 2 weeks, I am going to be ordering more wintry colors so that people can do it for hats and sweaters and things like that. It goes pretty far. I have the sleeves to do on this, and I've only used 4 skeins to do a size 40. It is a cropped sweater, but 4 skeins has done the body, and I only have this much left from that 4th skein. So it really it's going to end up taking 6, I think, to do the entire sweater. I also wanted to point out, when I was thinking about telling you about this is a top-down pattern, so there's nothing to put together. And whenever I do a top-down pattern that's a cardigan that has finishing, I do the finishing before I do the sleeves.
Oh.
Mainly because if you put the sleeves on, then you have all that weight. You have the weight of the sweater, the body, and the sleeves when you're trying to do the ribbing. So that's just a little tip. If you're doing a top-down cardigan that has button band and buttonhole band, do it first before you do the sleeves. Then you don't have to worry about it. It's done. It's much easier, lighter on your needles and your hands, and then you sort of feel like the sweater is really finished. Now, I knit with all 4 skeins, and in the interest of honesty, in 2 of those skeins there were knots. One was a real tied knot, and one was a kind of what I call a factory glue join. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Back to that sausage making thing. If the machine operator runs out of meat and he gets a half a sausage, he still makes that half a sausage, and that's the one he takes home for dinner. But in this process, if they get close to that, I don't even know, like 110 yards or something for the skein, they don't do it like that. They do it in cones. But if they get close to that pound, and something breaks or something goes wrong with the machine, or they need to refill either the netting or the blow-in stuff, they're gonna attach it and do it. Neither one of those knots that I found were a big problem, and that was 2 out of the 4 skeins. So that's kind of preparing me. You're gonna end up finding a little bit of a knot. And the other thing, that hole that I showed you, I did not do the Russian join there, mainly because I was knitting out on the deck and I didn't want to get up and get a needle, a sewing needle. But I want to show you how to do the Russian join, because that's what I recommend with this yarn. It is slick, it's smooth, so there's nothing that will hold the ends together. So you really want to not knot it, but make the Russian join. So where did my needle?
I was cleaning.
No, the open one. Thank you.
Sorry.
And because of the smallness of this net, you don't really want to use a big needle. So if you've got big size regular tapestry needles, you'll actually want to get one of the thinner ones like this. And where did all my ends go? I was all prepared and Kate cleaned up.
Here.
Thank you.
Make a new ends.
Okay. How to do the Russian join. So you have 2 ends of yarn, and you're going to cross them and then cross them again so that you've made this kind of a loop. And then you thread the end through your tapestry needle and you sew it back into itself. Are you guys impressed that I can do this in the middle of the air?
It's pretty cool. So the beginning loop is more like, it's like arms locking.
It's just, exactly, it's like arms locking. It's not a knot and it's not really a loop. It's just bent back over itself as it wraps around its partner. You do that to both ends, and it's just a quick through. I hope you guys can see this. Through and through. I usually do it 3 or 4 times. So that you have something that looks like this. So you pull on the yarns and not much happens. But when you pull on the ends, watch carefully, those bends, it uses up, it tightens up.
Yeah.
And that's what you will knit. You'll just let the ends hang. Now on my sample, I did that the first time that I had to join a skein. So that's what it looks like on the inside. I have not yet trimmed the ends. And there it is right there. That's what it looks like on the outside.
Very clean.
It's very clean. You really cannot tell that there are 2 stitches that actually have that double strand of yarn. So if you want me to show it to you in person when you come in, I'm happy to do that. But I use that a lot, especially on plied yarns or chained yarns, or in this case, this blown in kind of yarn, this tubular yarn. It's a little bit harder to do on single plies, and single plies are really good for a spit join, but I'll show you that next time. Okay, so that is everything that I wanted to talk about today. I'm glad to be back in our regular routine, and we've got a lot of fun, exciting things coming up. I'll be gone in the middle of June to the show. Looking forward to seeing all of the new things that companies have planned for us. And then it's the real dog days of summer. but we have fun. All right, everybody, go knit something. We're having a beautifully cool spring into summer, and you should find plenty of time to be knitting. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye.